What are these two antennas on this car for? I found this in my photo album a bit ago, and I was wondering what these pylons are used for. The photo shows a Chevrolet Suburban SUV with two long antennas mounted on the back. These antennas are HF antennas, high-frequency shortwave, designed for long-range radio communications. Their length is explained by the fact that the HF band operates at long wavelengths, usually 3 to 30 MHz, which require significant physical dimensions of the antenna for efficient operation. Such antennas are most often used by licensed amateur radio operators, ham radio operators. Thanks to these antennas, it is possible to establish radio communication for hundreds and even thousands of kilometers, including international communications, without using the internet or cellular networks. In extreme conditions or emergencies, such systems are often the only way to communicate. It is also possible to install such antennas by employees of services involved in long-range communication: rescuers, civil defense personnel, expeditionary groups, or military supplies. What is this? This has had me stumped for over 60 years. When I was 10 years old, my dad brought this home from work. He worked for General Atomics/General Dynamics. Please let me die happy. What is it? You are holding in your hands a real artifact of the engineering era of the atomic race. This small metal object in the shape of a rocket is a stabilizer for a high-temperature crucible, most likely used in laboratory testing or the production of radioactive materials. It was made of a refractory alloy, possibly aluminum or zinc alloy, and the shape with 3 legs ensures the stability of the crucible in the furnace or on a special platform. The central hole is used to install a capsule or tube, possibly with a sample. Why does it look like a rocket? In the 50s and 60s, when your father worked at General Atomics/General Dynamics, engineering design often combined functionality with aesthetics of the atomic age. Even the laboratory parts have not escaped the influence of the rocket fashion. Bottom line, this is not a toy or a designer accessory, but a real part of the scientific infrastructure of an era when humanity sought to conquer both the atom and space. Handle with spring. What is this thing? This item is an antique kitchen whisk, known as the spider whisk or spring whisk. It was used before the advent of electric mixers and more modern beaters. A special feature of the design is a spiral metal spring fixed on a wooden handle. When the handle was vertically pressed and quickly released, the whisk began to spring and beat the contents of the bowl. This shape was especially well suited for whipping eggs, cream, or batter. The beauty of this whisk is its simplicity and effectiveness. Thanks to its spring-loaded design, it creates a vortex, saturating the mixture with air, which is especially important when cooking airy dishes. It was often found in the kitchens of France, Germany, and Great Britain in the middle of the 20th century. Today, such Kerala are considered vintage items and collectible rarities. Any idea what this thing is hanging off the bridge? This is a water level monitoring system under the bridge. It consists of several components, each of which performs a precise and important function. 1. The main unit on the bridge railing is a housing with electronics that includes a radar or ultrasonic sensor. It is directed downward and measures the distance to the water surface by sending pulses and recording the time it takes for them to return. By knowing the speed of sound, the height of the water can be accurately determined. 2. The hanging cylindrical weight on the cable is most likely a float-type level sensor or a backup mechanical meter. It reacts to critically high water levels and can act as an emergency alarm. 3. The solar panel on the side of the housing provides autonomous operation of the device by powering the battery inside the housing. This allows the system to operate year-round without being connected to an electrical power supply. 4. The antenna transmits data, water level, alarms, and device status in real time to a hydrological monitoring center, a weather station, or a road authority. These systems are critical for early flood warnings and bridge monitoring, especially in regions at risk of flooding. Floor-mounted dome 10-foot domes on floor under seats in orchestra hall. What could it be? This black metal dome on the floor under the seat is an element of an ancient theater ventilation system known as a floor hood or cooling diffuser. Its function is to supply cool air directly to the area where the audience is sitting. In the early 20th century, before the advent of full-fledged air conditioning, theaters and concert halls often used natural cooling. Blocks of ice were installed in the basements, or channels were laid through which ventilation systems pumped cool air up through such domed grills. Why under the seats? This method evenly distributed the coolness without creating drafts. Acoustically, it was invisible. The ventilation did not interfere with the sound in the hall. This system is an engineering monument of the era when theaters sought to provide comfort without noisy fans and compressors. Today, such elements have been preserved only in historical buildings and have become part of the architectural heritage. This has been parked in my neighborhood for a good while now. Any idea what it is? The photo shows the installation used by the Departments of Weights and Measures to calibrate and verify the accuracy of filling pumps at gas stations. It is a mobile measuring system, often mounted on a trailer, consisting of cylindrical tanks and measuring instruments. A large horizontal tank with an attached hose is a calibration tank designed to accurately measure the volume of liquid, most often fuel. It is equipped with inspection scales and control valves. A vertical cylindrical tank next to it is an additional container, possibly for collecting fuel residues or applying pressure. Such settings allow you to determine whether the refueling pump actually produces, for example, exactly 10 gallons, as indicated on the display, or slightly less, which is already considered a violation. Such systems are part of trade regulation and protect consumers from underfilling. The equipment is certified and undergoes regular inspection, and the operators working with it are usually employees of government agencies, such as the Department of Weights and Measures in the United States. If such a trailer has been standing still for a long time, it may be temporarily unused, undergoing maintenance, or awaiting the next trip to inspect a gas station in the area. What's this thing on the bike for? Can I take it off and throw it away? The photo shows a bicycle with a dynamo generator, or dynamo machine installed, which is a compact device that converts the mechanical energy of wheel rotation into electricity. He is the one in question in the red circle. When the cyclist sets the bike in motion, the dynamo roller is pressed against the side surface of the tire. When the wheel rotates, the roller also rotates, and an electric current is generated inside the device due to electromagnetic induction. This current is applied to the headlights, front and rear, illuminating the road without batteries and batteries. Pushpin interesting facts. Such generators began to be used on a large scale back in the first half of the 20th century. This is a completely self-contained light source, especially useful for long trips or in the absence of spare batteries. Modern versions are hub-mounted, built into the wheel, but roller type, as in the photo, are still used due to their simple design and ease of installation. Thus, this little black box is a real energy source on wheels, operating according to the same principles as a large generator in a power plant, only in miniature. Spotted on the southeast coast of England. Looks vaguely familiar. Who knows the model and how old she is? The photo shows a heavily modified 1928 Chevrolet National, converted into a racing speedster or early 20th century style track car. In the UK and USA, such projects are known as specials, unique vehicles built by hand using vintage chassis and engines, typically for exhibitions, hill climb races, or retro competitions. Distinguishing features: the open cockpit and steering wheel on a protruding shaft are characteristic of early track cars and 1930s racing. The streamlined hood and low riding stance suggest a conversion to a sports configuration. The V4/M620 marking is likely a starting number in a retro class competition or a club member index. The black wheels with no chrome and simple paintwork emphasize the garage style of the hand-built special, without excessive gloss. History: the Chevrolet National Series AB, 1928, was a popular car of its time, featuring a 4-cylinder engine, manual transmission, and a frame-based design. Due to their simplicity and durability, these cars became excellent bases for post-war homemade projects, particularly in the mid-20th century. It is this platform that enthusiasts use to create speedster specials, inspired by pre-war racing cars. This is not just an old car. It is a story brought to life by the hands of a master, transformed into a functioning exhibit. Such a car is a participant in shows, exhibitions, and perhaps even classic races like the VSCC Speed Trials in England. What is this device in my 2013 Ram 1500? The photo shows the external module of the trailer's electronic brake controller, installed under the dashboard of a Ram 1500 car, 2013 model. This device controls the brakes on the trailer, synchronizing them with the car's own braking system. Pushpin. How it works. When you press the brake pedal, the controller sends a signal to the trailer's braking system. Depending on the settings, it can activate the brakes gently or abruptly, in proportion to the car's own braking. This is especially important when towing heavy loads, boats, trailers, or campers. Wrench device functions. The manual regulator, visible in the photo as a large wheel, allows you to manually control the braking force. The digital display or indicator, not visible from this angle, often shows the current braking force or any errors, as some models automatically adjust the force based on the slope of the road, inertial sensors. The device in the photo is a post-market brake controller mounted using a mounting bracket. It can be from brands such as Tekonsha, Kurt, Hopkins, or Reese. Round pushpin summary. This is not a strange device, but an important safety element when towing. It allows the trailer's braking system to work in concert with your pickup truck, preventing brakes from skidding, jerking, and overheating when driving with heavy loads. What is this? Found this on our utility pole. I just think it looks a little odd. The photos show the top of a wooden pole with electrical components installed on it. A small black device with a small white rectangle stands out, which is not a standard component like a transformer or junction box. It is most likely a sensor designed for remote monitoring or control. Here are some possibilities. What could it be? 1. A photosensor photocell automatically turns streetlights on and off depending on the level of illumination, day/night. It is often mounted on poles near distribution boxes. 2. A meter or usage tracker can transmit data about electricity consumption, network load, or equipment status. 3. A sensor for smart grids. Smart grid is part of a monitoring infrastructure that collects information about network parameters and transmits data to a control center. 4. Low RAWAN/5G/IoT module. Such small boxes can be antennas for transmitting telemetry data from nearby sensors, for example, water, gas, or smart electricity meters. Why does it look unusual? It is compact and different from typical distribution elements. There are no visible manufacturer markings, which may indicate a recent installation or affiliation with a private monitoring system, such as an energy company, telecom operator, or even a municipality. It may be part of a pilot program for infrastructure modernization, such as a smart city. Conclusion: it is likely a light sensor or remote monitoring module installed on a pole as part of a broader automation or surveillance system. It is not a threat, but it can be curious due to its minimalist design and hidden purpose. What is this wire and white box junction assembly? The photos show a solar inverter unit, most likely a Sunny Tripower X from SMA. These devices convert direct current from solar panels into alternating current, suitable for use in the building network or sending to the general power grid. What exactly is visible in the photo? The white rectangular blocks are inverters, each responsible for a part of the solar installation installed on the roof of the parking lot. Metal cable boxes and connecting elements ensure the supply of electricity from solar panels to inverters, and then distribution to the building. The location on the top floor of the parking lot is the optimal location, because the solar panels are most likely located directly above them, on the roof of the building. Why it's interesting: this is the heart of a solar power plant. Without these devices, the raw electricity from the sun cannot be used. Inverters are equipped with intelligent functions. They can monitor network parameters, monitor power generation, and automatically shut down in case of accidents. The installation of such equipment indicates that the building uses green energy and probably participates in an energy-saving program or has an energy efficiency rating. This site is like a hidden power plant on the roof of the urban infrastructure. What are these yellow things on the flatbed? They look like concrete or steel barriers for construction. Another flatbed is parked off camera to the left with 2 more. They seem to be curved a little and probably used in construction. The photos show massive yellow blocks mounted on a low bed trailer with multiple axles. These are crane counterweights, heavy steel elements used to balance tower or mobile cranes when lifting loads. How it works: counterweights are mounted on the back of the crane to compensate for the moment of force created by the heavy load on the boom. This prevents tipping over and increases stability during operation. The higher the load or further it needs to be lifted, the more counterweight is required. Why are these exactly counterweights? Shape and recesses. The characteristic rounded shape with technical cutouts are not barriers, but segmented blocks that fit into one massive slab on the crane's turntable. And material, it can be seen that it is painted metal, not concrete. Steel counterweights have a higher density and a smaller volume, which is important on construction sites. A low-bed trawl. This platform is used to transport only heavy machinery and ballast. The partial roundness and special mounting hinges indicate that the blocks are designed for precise installation on machinery, and not for fencing. Interesting fact, depending on the crane model, the total weight of the counterweights can reach 200 tons or more. They are transported separately at night, so as not to interfere with traffic, as in your photos. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel.